to another edition of What's Happening Now with CNI Solutions. As always, remember to go ahead and like and comment on this broadcast live, as there will be those out there who can utilize this information other than yourself. We had a great weekend last weekend, Brewster. We did the Family Fun Fair at Northwoods Community Center. It was outstanding. We gave out plenty of snow cones, and unbeknown to me, the popcorn was a hit. We had popcorn. I think we gave out almost 200 and something bags of popcorn. So that was outstanding. If you hadn't had a chance by now, please sign up for the Braidathon. It was going to be happening at the Bob Harrison Senior Center. We will be doing braids for kids. We're going to be doing haircuts. We're going to be doing lock retwists. We're giving out school supplies. And we're going to be doing a barbecue for those kids so they can have a nice little lunch in their belly on that day. So all you got to do is just go to the website, sign up, go to our event page, and you'll see the flyer there for the Braidathon, and take one of the appointment slots that we have set up for you, and we'll see you at that time. All right. If by chance you have signed your child up and you realize you cannot make that appointment, please go back in and cancel that appointment so we can open those slots up for someone who can use those slots. So tonight we have a special guest here in the studio with us. We have Commissioner Ms. Violet Edwards. Ms. Edwards, welcome. Great. So tell us how you got started.
That is a loaded question. Before I start talking about myself,
all right,
let me just tell you thank you.
Oh,
well, thank you for everything that you're doing, everything that you're going to do, everything that you've done. Just your presence in the community was greatly needed and greatly felt, and your partnership with the Harrison Center has been phenomenal. Our seniors and we love you guys. We're looking forward to hosting you with the Braidathon. Again, another community outreach that's so needed, and I just appreciate you filling in the gap and coming over and you allowing us to take part in that as well.
Oh, well, thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Make sure that you know how much I appreciate it.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much.
So now about me.
All right.
So yes, Commissioner Violet Edwards, I have the honor and the privilege of representing the 6th District of Madison County. I have been in this position since November of 2020, and it has been a phenomenal ride.
Wow.
Representing, we get in there. We're representing about 52 to 55,000 people right now that we hope because of redistricting in 2024, and we're just plugging in. We came in during COVID. We did those initiatives, and now we're really fighting our groove. November will be at 2 years, and we're really figuring out how to make our
Yes. You know, ma'am, I've attended a couple of the commissioners' meetings downtown, and the passion that I see in you when you're speaking on subjects and things that you're wanting to get done. What drove you to say, you know what? I want to run for county commissioner?
The passion that you see about the things that I'm talking about are things that I wanted to hear before I ran. So I've been in the community for over 20 years now, and I have volunteered at numerous nonprofits. I've served on nonprofit boards, and I felt like I had a pretty good pulse of the community, and a lot of the conversations that I was hearing with that board meeting while I was out volunteering, I didn't hear at some of the meetings that I was attending. And so it was just time to take action. And this wasn't one of those things where I could go out and I could blame somebody else. You're not talking about it. You're not doing your job. If it's important to me, I was like, let me put my resume out there. I can do the conversation myself. So as you attend the commission meetings, it's some things that's just going to happen on its own. The commission is responsible for cutting grass.
Right.
The commission is to build bridges. The commission is to take care of some rural areas. But there was a lot of the conversation, especially the conversation on the north side, because it's in the city, that I just felt like we needed to bring to the table and hold those discussions.
Right. Outstanding.
So, you spoke about redistricting in 2024.
Yes.
So, kind of break that down to just a little bit more. What is redistricting all about?
So this is just in 1988, the court ordered that Madison County would have 6 districts and 1 chairman. And each district had somebody representing them, and that was, every district would mirror each other as far as the size. The size would be whatever it is as far as population. And so redistricting, it happens every single year, the numbers were not even. So we had districts that say the city of Madison is in all of that growth, and we looked at the numbers, they were up to 70,000. And then you had District 6 that is in the city in Huntsville, it was at 55,000. So the redistricting process really just tried to make it equal. All of us are representing the same number of people, even if the land is different. Somebody might have more miles than I have, but the population is about the same. And so we went through a long process. We listened to things that people were concerned about. That's not to split neighborhoods. And we did this redistricting. And it was my goal to, in 10 years, not to have that 70-55 again, not to have that disparity, not to have that. And the factor, the key thing for us to do was to grab land that we know is going to be growing. Okay. Grab that land where we know we're heading north, and that is land where District 6 needs to grab. So if we hadn't done that, then we would have stayed stagnant. Our neighborhoods are there, our houses are there, they're going to look like that in 10 years. That's how we're going to look. But we're actually able to grab some growing neighborhoods and grab some developing land to the north. So we have room to grow as people are moving out to other areas of Madison County. And that was just so important in the redistricting process for us to get out there and really make our case and really fight is a bad word. We didn't fight. Right. We just had to make a strong case of why we wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
Fairness and growth potential is there. I am glad that you did break down that part about they didn't just rezone it, redistrict it. With that redistricting will come growth because it's potentially in the plans already, potentially. So that is great for the neighborhoods. If the neighborhoods, for those who are hearing now and will view it later, there are things that are happening, maybe even unbeknownst to yourselves. So that's great. And having a representative like Ms. Edwards who sees that and knows that that's what it's about. That's what you want from your representative. Awesome.
Well, not only that, you spoke on some things I think is very important for our community to know about, and especially when it comes in terms of who's going to be the commissioner when they're voting. I don't think a lot of times, especially in the low to moderate income areas, when they think about voting, they only think about the higher tier. They're just thinking about the president. Who's going to be the president, but they don't realize how much of an impact the lower tier actually has on them in their own community. Like this, as far as like you're talking about redistricting, what schools we're going to close or what we're going to build out here in this land. I think that's very important when you brought some of those points home, that it helps them understand, I didn't know that that's what they do. I didn't know that was how this came about. So many times I'll be out and about or hear something and someone say, did you know that they're tearing down this? Yeah, you weren't at the county commission meeting. They talked about that. They said this was going to happen. I said, this is why it's important, when these people are running for these seats in these offices, listen to what their agenda is. Listen to what they're actually saying they want to change, they want to fix. Before you just like, I'm not worried about that, because it's going to affect you in the long run.
So how does an everyday citizen, so to speak, like myself, find out when these meetings are being held?
It's posted on the website. And for the county commission, we meet every 2 weeks at 10 o'clock on Wednesday at the 7th floor of the Madison County Courthouse downtown.
Right.
And like I said, a lot of our business is just business, it's contracts. We're discussing who in the county we're spending money with, or what are we going to do in the county next, as far as sewage and roads and budgets for the jail and the probate office. So a lot of our meeting is contractual, but you have that issue every now and then. That is an issue. And when you have that issue, you really have to sit down and discuss it. And to bring home your point, you can't pick up the phone and call Joe Biden, or you can't pick up the phone and call Kay Ivey, but you can pick up the phone and call any of your local representatives. Right. And so it is important for them to know, or for us to know, what you want to see in your community. It's important for us to listen. All politics are local. It all starts local. Even as you get up into the senators and the representatives, a lot of them started locally.
Right.
And is that labeled as like grassroots? Is that what grassroots?
Grassroots, pretty much. Grassroots, in my definition, is more of, it's door to door. It's not really an establishment. Like my campaign wasn't really establishment. It wasn't a lot of big companies and a lot of well-known people. It was knocking on the door, grassroots. We started from the bottom with some good fertilizer and water. And good garden.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So, as Brewster was going through your dossier there, there were some interesting things that I didn't know. I did not know that you was actually into broadcasting before.
Yes. 13 years.
Wow.
That was what my formal education was communications, and I did it all. I worked in television, and I did radio. I started out in radio. And I worked at stations in markets of Tuscaloosa and Birmingham and Jonesboro, Arkansas, and Memphis. And actually, journalism is what brought me to Huntsville.
Wow. So where are you originally from?
I'm from Cordova, Alabama, and that is in Walker County, right outside of a little town. Jasper is what people usually know. It's 7 miles outside of Jasper.
Okay.
5 generations of family from Cordova.
Wow.
We're still there.
No, I'm from Talladega.
Oh, Lord, everybody knows. So one of the things that we showed in the broadcast, we talked about the senior citizens that that's in your district, and that you're over. Yes. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Oh, it is a jewel that we're really working to make sure that the community knows about. It's the Robert Bob Harrison Senior Wellness and Advocacy Center. Mr. Harrison started, Commissioner Harrison built it back when Obama was in office. He got federal funding, he built it, and it was for seniors in the community. And we are working to expand it. So we have a beautiful exercise facility upstairs, and then downstairs we have a pool, and we have a ballroom, a patio, we have a pod that I call this is like a mobile classroom, and a pavilion. And it is just really a wonderful asset to the community. What we found during COVID was that it could be so much more. And so we've really just worked into getting it out to a broader audience. It still has a membership for seniors, 40 and over. I know 40 isn't really seniors. We couldn't make it 60 or I couldn't get it. So 40 and over can now have a membership and have all of those wonderful resources for free. But we are also utilizing the campus and that ballroom. And ever since we did a little bit of revamping, a little bit of painting, we've been working on some aspects, the sidewalks and all. And every weekend there is an event there. And I think that was the purpose. That's the whole spirit of a community center, is to be able to pull people together. During COVID, people came on campus and hit golf balls, or walked the track, or they wanted to do things in the pavilion. And so we really made sure that we made it welcoming. And we used it as a vaccination site and a COVID testing site. And really just open it up to the community, still keeping the seniors in mind, still having that senior programming that you tapped into, but also the community aspect that you've also tapped into to make it, to just get our money's worth. It's a beautiful building.
I can tell you, I know last year when Mr. Fomby and I, we first drove down there and we pulled in to the gate. And the first thing that came to our mind was, wow, this is like a military installation, because we're so used to seeing manicure lawns and everything was just right. We were like, is this in Huntsville? There's no way this is here. It was just like you said, a jewel. You just opened up like, oh my goodness, this is beautiful. I mean, and it really is. And you mentioned, you just talked about, people come down there and they're walking around and hitting golf balls. I don't think Huntsville or the people in Huntsville who don't know about the senior center, really how big your grounds is.
It's huge. 21, 24, 26, 20 plus acres. And it's just getting better. Last year we received a grant, this time last year, for $1.2 million.
Okay.
And it is going to be fantastic. So as you know, when you pull up to the Harrison Center right now, this is kind of a little gate. And so we'll have a grand opening to welcome people so people will know it's there. And it's also, we're going to be able to put sidewalks in, so that people coming down Pulaski Pike or from the community can walk again, that connectivity, make it part of the community. that is not, as
Right.
everybody in this world and making it easier to get into. For people with mobility issues or whatever it may be, everybody is going to be able to come and do the walking trail, have easy access to it.
That is awesome, man.
So
So I'm going to ask, I have a broad question when it comes to your district. What plans, we talk about the Broad Heritage Center, but what other plans are there for your district that you can divulge?
So this year has kind of been the leading connectivity, everything that we've done. And again, that's drawing from COVID, that people are trying to come back together.
Okay.
And so the Harrison Center, that came out of the COVID initiative. It was like step 3 of the COVID initiative, step 1 of the Moving Forward initiative. And so that getting that project at $1.2 million, and that was specifically for District 6, that was huge. So
Right.
now I have to learn about sidewalks. Ground should be broken soon. And so right now, writing grants, we're partnering with Drake.
Okay.
They're doing great things, and they don't even bring ideas. Dr. Pat Sims has 101 ideas, and we're figuring out how we can plug in there, focusing on education, focusing on just that family unit and the connectivity.
Right.
I had the honor of playing a small part in a job fair recently, and just getting the word out, getting back on their feet, that second chance.
Right.
They get jobs, they can apply for their family. You can you have a certain amount of freedom when you have a paycheck.
Right.
So anything that I can tap to like that that's bringing either employees to employers or to help with that family unit or with the education unit, those are the type of grants that we're looking for right now. In addition, we're about to revamp our community garden as well, put some hard goals and some hard objectives on the community garden. It's another tool that very few people know about it, but we're trying to do the marketing and really expand what we're doing with getting fresh fruits and fresh vegetables into the community, and that whole educational aspect of growing your own.
Where is is that community gardens going to be there?
It's there right now. We are on the campus of Alabama A&M. Is on Meridian Street. So right when you pass Drake, if you look to the left, you'll see a large field. It looks like a huge farm.
Okay.
And so that is one of the things we're revamping. When it was established by Commissioner Prince Prayer, it was they did canning and had students from A&M. It was really a big partnership there. And as the years have gone by, a lot of the people who came out and did volunteer work, that generation is older now.
Right.
And my generation, we're not going. We're going to the grocery store. That's what we're doing. And so that model is not the best model anymore, because where we were just paying to get the seed and the equipment in the ground and people would come and pick it, now it's turned into getting the seed in the ground, getting it out of the ground, delivering it to the state. It is just really, so if that's going to be a mission, then we need to say that that's the mission.
Right.
We really have to go and take a close look at that program and make sure that we're getting the biggest bang for the buck.
So the target for that particular, when you started talking about that, I started thinking about the youth. Does the community have a fair amount of youth in that district? And if so, is it planned that the youth will be involved within that? Because when you talk about putting it in the ground, getting it out of the ground, and getting it to the market, I kind of think about the entrepreneurial spirit. You have the ideas, then as you produce the product or performing the service, you have to distribute it. It's all a part of we use a canvas to show that particular approach, but getting it distributed to get it out to the consumer.
That's the revamping, is bringing the educational piece in, because while it's a community card, it's volunteers, and volunteers it's aging out people who are actually into farming.
Right.
And so with the educational piece we're trying to bring in there, and we just started with the model, is a school brought their class out, and we have an okra field. And foreman came out and was just like, this is okra, and you go to the gardens where you can pick stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We went a step further. This is a hoe. This is dirt. This is how you eat. This is how you cut the hole. Education aspect
Right.
of it, we make it a little more than going out and picking it. And so we're still working on that. Again, back to grants, we were able to get a wonderful $20,000 grant that will allow us. I did not know how backbreaking it is to get greens. And so
You asked me.
now I heard that you was like, but if you didn't want it, I'm just saying greens. So we were able to get that $20,000 to buy an equipment, and it is great. Those greens grow up, and it goes through and it chops off just the top,
Right.
and they keep growing, and we're able to bag those greens, and we were able to give them to the seniors at the Harrison Center, or give it to a church who has a distribution. We're able to put that out in the community, and that is our vamping. If we can get the kids there, and they're learning about the gardening, and they're learning about the farming aspect of
Right.
it. The community, the garden is still free. People can still drive up, pick what they want. But we just need to do a little more. We need to add that extra layer than us just putting the seed in the ground.
So is the garden manned? Is it manned like throughout the day?
It is not. It is not.
So it's just so like I can just go when get done. I go down and get some greens.
It is. It's
Wow.
free. It's free. You drive up. I ask that you not step on anything wrong. And if it is muddy, be careful.
So how do you as wonderful idea this is, do y'all have like what I guess like a legend for the novice who doesn't really for instance, say I'm a novice and I want me some greens. Is there something that shows me which ones to get? Now, like this, there's like a legend. Like, hey, if they look like this, Charles, you can grab them. If they don't look like that, don't touch those. You're not ready.
That is a wonderful idea. If you don't know what greens are, you can stay away because you will have weeds. Even some weeds might take you. So and it's part of the act with the educational part of it to put the labeling on there, so people will know what they're getting. Right now, if you don't, we have different beans, and if you don't know what a purple whole pea is,
Right.
then you might be in trouble. Again, all part of the revamping, and what we've also done is we have that large area there that anybody can go to, but we also have a small 5-acre area that's behind a fence,
Mhm.
and that behind that fence is dedicated strictly to charity.
Okay.
Like we go out there, or a church will come out there, or a ministry will come out there. We know that these 5 acres worth of fresh food is going to go directly into a ministry or a nonprofit,
Right.
and that we have control over. We can weigh it. We know what we're producing. We also got a big field, but once we get it in and start growing, we want the community to come and get it. And that's why our picking came in, because we don't want it to grow and then just have to turn it over because the volunteers
Right.
don't show up, and
Right.
volunteers don't know to the grocery store. So
Right.
we're figuring out a better process to make that a little more viable. And right now, hopefully by the end of the year, we're getting through this season. We're hoping to have a wonderful green crop this fall,
Right.
and we'll be ready to roll out our new initiative in 2023.
That's great.
I think that the big important thing here is the education, like you said, and for those who are beneath us, our younger generation, don't understand the value in having fresh produce. Because way too often, I know our producer, she loves just to go grab that can off the shelf and pop that can open, but not really understanding like, hey, if I can get these carrots or greens fresh from the garden, how much better it is for them.
And that's what happened. We got one generation who grew up on a farm, who grew up on farms.
Right,
That
right.
generation, and then my generation. No, that's some video games. Tell you what my generation did. We didn't work on farms.
Right.
We had video. We were Atari and Nintendo, and so that we do have a generation that really does not know, and so bringing this education in and getting some school kids in, and we're right there on A&M's campus, and so it just makes sense that we try to put together a program with community partners that will benefit the entire community.
So I'm going to briefly speak to the camera. As I'm listening, I'm filled. I'm filled because I remember the sunny days and getting out of school. Hey, take those school clothes off and do that part of your chores, right? But for those who are viewing today, who are viewing the future, understand that this connects. It may seem like we started from talking semi-politics. And then all of a sudden now we're into gardening and a better tomorrow from a more simplistic way. But it all matters. And when you have someone who's in the community into politics who understands that and who's working with that and is willing to and understanding that we need to touch all aspects of the community,
Right.
just not someone who wants, say, another supermarket or another this, So I'm applauding that inside and outside, And so, like I said, for the viewers, just kind of listen in.
Mhm.
There's a lot of messages in what we're discussing here for a greater tomorrow.
And even with politics, it's just important to understand that different positions have different roles.
There you
And so a lot of times people will be upset over a law
go. Right.
and they'll come to me, but the commission is not a lawmaking body.
Right.
So just knowing who to take that complaint to, now I will take a complaint, but then I also tell you you need to take it to jail and I'm advocating on your behalf.
Right.
But all the positions, all of the seats are not the same. Everybody has a different job, and we need to get people in office who understand their job, who do their job, and will listen to the community to make
Right.
sure that that those things are taken care of.
Great. Oh,
That-
tell you what, that is all. You mentioned a job fair. I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump back a little bit. You mentioned a job fair. And I think I was on your Facebook page and I saw a flyer spoke about a job fair, and it's one of the things it spoke about was potentially previously incarcerated,
Right.
and employers that potentially will look at. I guess it would be the degree of the
The infraction.
the degree of the infraction and whether they would hire previously incarcerated personnel. And I thought that was a very interesting point because is that something that you get to look at from your seat?
It is something that is, yes, and it's something that my office gets calls about. Even on the campaign trail, reducing the recidivism rate was huge.
Right.
We know that mistakes happen. We know that rehabilitation can happen. We know by the grace of God, some of us sitting here just didn't get caught.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So with that, it's just important that a lot of times when you hear job fairs, it is, you think that it's somebody with a certain certificate or somebody with a certain degree, but we need everyone in the community to work.
Yes.
And so with this job fair, the goal was to let everyone know that there is a place in the job market if you want to work.
Correct.
And so getting that message out there was important.
That's good. Very, very good. So your page, can you give the viewers your page? Because I found here,
Okay.
I'm not per se in District 6,
Okay.
but I found it was very interesting that all this information that was on your page.
Yes.
Just go and view it.
So, and this is funny because I have a wiki page. Let me just say, I have a wiki page. Okay? Yeah. So some people can talk, I be like, just Google me. So actually, that thing was very scary the first time I saw it because I was like, oh. But once you have a lot of articles out there, that stuff starts getting put
Right.
together. And I'm coming from a university, and there's no telling which student of mine did it. But so just Google about it to see what pops up. But Madison County also has a page, MadisonCountyAL.gov. That is the professional page, the
Right.
business page,
Right.
and it will give you the boundaries of District 6. It'll tell you when commission meetings are. You can find the commission agenda. You can find my bio, and you can find how to contact me.
Awesome.
Outstanding. I think Commissioner, you really shine the light here today. I appreciate all the information, the good information, and I appreciate your dedication and hard work to what it is that you're doing in your job, and not just being someone who's filling a seat, but you're being an active listener and wanting to make a difference for those who come to you and say, "Hey, this is what's happening. Like this, can you help me here?" And I love that charge that you have, because that's what we do. That's our charge. We want to stay committed, and we like being committed. And we kind of like you have the mindset, if not me, then who? You know, so you don't sit and wait for someone else to do it. You say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and make this happen. And that's what I love about you and the hard work that you do. Any closing remarks that you have for us, for the viewers, anything?
Well, it's an election year. And so I can clearly say, look, my name is not on the ballot, so I can say this freely. Go vote. And that's not even self-serving. Study your ballots, study your candidates. Every election matters, as we talked about,
Right.
from your school board, your House, your Senate. You know, I got phone calls about, you know, the Supreme Court, and I was just like, so what you gonna do now? It's all local.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's all local. So whose campaign are you working on? You want me to? Who are you canvassing for? Who are you going to donate to? It is all local, and so for people to get involved and take a look, and if they can, you know, slide a candidate if they love $5.
Right.
You know, that is a way to do a part, not Facebook rants or constantly complaining.
Right.
Complaining less. There's so many ways to get active and get involved, and there are elections coming up. Actually, 2 elections. We have the municipal elections coming up, and we also have the elections in November.
Outstanding. Brewster?
Oh, wow. I'll study your candidate. You know, I think that's one of the things. We had a small 30, 45-minute live. We spoke briefly about politics, and we were going from as far as local politics and local upcoming local elections and other, right? And, you know, and I think, weren't you looking at Charles Fry running for local?
No, I wasn't. That was you and the producer, everybody trying to get me to run.
See, that's how rumors get
That's how
started, right?
rumors
Yeah.
get started.
You know, anything is going forward except for this particular commissioner. Anything else you got?
But hey, many thanks. Kudos. I tell you, I've enjoyed every moment of it, and you have given there's a light that has gone off in my head, and not just that, in my heart, because it takes some heart to do what you're doing.
Thank you.
You know, everyone might think it's about a legacy and about finances, but it takes some heart.
Right.
Because you have those good days and bad days.
Yes.
I have it at home with my lovely wife, and I love her so much.
He is in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hey, folks, hey, you heard it here first. Commissioner Edwards was here giving some good information. Look her up if you have any questions, if you happen to live in her district, if you're here in the Huntsville, Alabama area. Don't forget about the big readathon we got coming up at the Robert Bob Harrison Senior Center. It's going to be a great event. Come on now. We're going to have a lot of activities going on. We'll have the radio station out there. We're going to have the Baker's Learning Kitchen out there. We're going to have the Bridge Street out there helping with the giveaways. So there's going to be a lot of things that's going to be happening besides getting those grades. People are actually coming out to support the community on our behalf. So we applaud all of them and those who are trying to be a part of this great event. And we can't thank Commissioner Edwards enough for allowing us to host in their facility to be there to do this. So until next time, always remember, today is not your today. Yesterday is not your today, and your today is not your tomorrow. Good night.